All right, we've got Sharpie Micro on the left-hand side, trying to break out of that wall. And on the right-hand side, we've actually got Oops, a Protoss bot in this micro battle. It's Marauders and Marines against Stalkers and Zealots. We're gonna see. I mean, Zealots can be kited pretty easily, so this is gonna be difficult for Oops. Stalkers need to get damage off while the Zealots are engaging. One of the Marauders is a little far forward, taking some shots and some swipes. One Zealot remains, however, there's 5 Marines and a Marauder, so these Stalkers are really gonna have to kite back instead. They do decide to go up the ramp. One Stalker remains. It's looking bleak for Oops, so Oops pulled an oopsie. Even saying oops at the end there. Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that one, that little micro battle at the start. But we are back with another full-on bot versus bot match. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be EvilZoe taking on SharpenedEdge in the top left. I've previously featured SharpenedEdge in a couple of videos, and that Sharpie Microbot you just watched actually was a product of this bot author, so a bit of a double feature for them today. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, if you like those little micro battles or if you like long bot games, go ahead and click that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Join the Discord, which is linked down below, and leave a comment saying more bots if you want to see more of these bots. I recently did just do some audio tweaks as well. I think I've got the audio a little bit better, as it's always a battle changing settings and stuff. I think this room I'm in might not have enough sound dampening, perhaps, as I did hear your feedback that it was a bit echoey, so I adjusted some microphone settings, and hopefully things are better now. I do appreciate your feedback on that, as one can only listen to their own voice so many times before going insane to be like, okay, this just loses meaning. I don't understand how this sounds, whether it sounds good or better or worse. So yeah, let me know how the sound is in the comments down below. And we have got a bit of a Protoss scout being kept check by a drone of EvilZoe. Just one drone, no overreaction or anything like that. As EvilZoe gets up its natural base, we've got SharpenedEdge going to be firing up a Nexus, getting up that Cyber Core for the low ground wall off. And this game we have here was actually requested by someone in the comments down below. So here is that match you requested. We have got the probe still just running around for SharpenedEdge. We'll see if EvilZoe attempts to take a third base or not. Whether that probe can block it. Doesn't look like it though, as there's already 2 lings out. Then that wall is going to have to get into ship shape for SharpenedEdge to make sure it can keep those Zerglings out. It's going to be interesting to see if the Zealot actually does just plug the wall, and the lings, whether they poke and prod that Zealot, or how that dance is going to go when these two authors program it, because for those of you that don't know, well, for those of you that don't play Protoss or Zerg, I guess, when you've got this wall, it's an interesting little dance, because the Zealot, he's holding the door, and anytime lings try and get in, like, the Zerg will poke and prod and be like, come on out of that door, Zealot, so I can sneak my lings in. And so it's a fine dance, but looks like we won't have that, as EvilZoe's lings are just scouting around for proxies. Meanwhile, SharpenedEdge is saying tag build Void Ray, which seems to be kind of countering what it's got on the way with a Twilight Council already building. So a double tech from SharpenedEdge. Gonna be spending a lot on that. Meanwhile, EvilZoe is getting up that third base, getting a Roach Warren on the way. I do enjoy the Void Rays potentially from SharpenedEdge, just because of how Roach heavy lots of these Zergs are. Meanwhile, we've actually got Resonating Glaives from SharpenedEdge. Now that's interesting. Glaive Adepts and Void Rays is a bit of an odd build, but I am 100% here for it. We've got Metabolic Boost on the way now for EvilZoe, about to finish up, and that is done. But the gas mining is not done, as we've got another extractor on the way with a Roach Warren done, so there is potential for roaches at any time for EvilZoe. We'll see if Burrow gets started sometime soon as well, as that's mighty important for Zergs. And let's see, we've got a Void on the way for Sharpened Edge now, so that should keep it safe from any aggression. Meanwhile, there's a couple of Adepts on the way for Sharpened Edge. It is getting Warp Gate out, which is important to see, as not every Protoss bot makes use of that, as it is more work as a bot author, so it's cool to see the bot author has put in that work. This Adept is shading into the natural base, going to be harassing some of these drones. Good pullback by EvilZoe. The Adept, she will shade into the main and start harassing some more drones. So far, no kills, though, because of the good pullback micro of EvilZoe. As I say that, though, we actually do have one drone going down. The rest shall be fine. We'll have to keep our eyes out to see if there is going to be more Adepts crossing the map when they do have that Resonating Glaives. Resonating Glaives increasing the attack speed of Adepts means they have less of a window for the Zerg player to micro back against those shots to keep their drones alive. Sharpened Edge, it's got one Void Ray out, getting out another Void Ray, and actually moving out with some of its Adepts and Stalkers. I don't think it's going to be able to go for like a full-on frontal attack because Queens are pretty good against Void Rays and Adepts. Instead, it's just going to be a third base getting secured up. A Scouting Ling does get taken out. And +1 attack is now on the way for those Void Rays, so they're going to benefit from that for sure. We'll see if there is going to be more Void Rays on the way. For now, though, it's a third Nexus from Sharpened Edge. Meanwhile, EvilZoe's looking to get a little bit aggressive. There is that wall. The Adepts can deal with Lings pretty easily as long as they're in the right position. That's going to be the big question. While this is going on, EvilZoe is just powering up in the macro, getting 1-1 on the way, building into what could potentially be a strong timing attack as that Hydra Den is about to finish up. And that is going to allow those strong anti-air units to be made that they really deal with Void Rays and Adepts quite well. And yeah, now, I mean, EvilZoe, it's dealing with some rocks, getting its anger out, attacking some boulders. The Zerg is getting a 4th base and a 5th base on the way up, so the Zerg getting away with strong macro, as they tend to do in these bot games. Sharpened Edge not able to punish it at all. It is now starting to move out, though. Void Rays, slow Zealots, they will soon have charged. Going to be moving across the map, trying to get something done. There is one Queen that's rather exposed. She could very well be taken care of. Roaches are going to turn around to try and support this Queen, but man, oh man, those Void Rays are going to cut her down real quick. There's an Overlord getting a little too far forward. That will be popped. No supply block resulting from that, though. So Sharpened Edge is just going for blood as it steps onto creep. Adepts to deal with the Lings, Zealots to kind of help out with everything else. The Void Rays do not have +1 attack just yet, but as long as the Queens are divided, they shall not be countered. The problem is going to be, though, soon enough, 10 Hydras are going to be out for EvilZoe, so I feel like this attack has an expiration date. Those Queens are going down, and it looks like this hatchery will fall as EvilZoe is afraid to engage this army, understandably so, as there's no anti-air with this army. So quite a few of these Roaches are getting caught. There is no detection, though, for Sharpened Edge, so these Roaches really shouldn't die, as a matter of fact. There are not too many of them. We do see a few burrow, but I mean, they do unburrow into prismatic-aligned Void Rays. There's a couple more units being caught in the middle of the map. EvilZoe's actually looking to get aggressive and go for a counterattack. This could be a big move. At the same time, it is leaving EvilZoe vulnerable. The one Void Ray finds some Hydras, but that's generally bad for the Void Ray. It may at least get one Hydra, which is good, seeing as how I think there is only a few moving across the map here. In goes Sharpened Edge, looking for blood. Drones are being pulled into this. Void Rays are doing what they can. Hydras are starting to shoot away at them, though. 4 are currently in the skies. Make that 3. Lots of damage is being output by the Zerg. Queens and Hydras cutting through the Void Rays. The Adepts, they deal lots of damage to those soft Zerg units, but they did not deal enough. The third base is now being pressured by EvilZoe, and Sharpened Edge is in a full-on rout. I think that one went about as expected. There's a reason why Protoss don't just attack generally with Void Rays, and that reason is Hydralisk, really, for the most part. So Sharpened Edge's composition, maybe putting it in a bit of a rough spot. It's going to get some more harassment, hitting its third base, and that is really nice for EvilZoe because, I mean, EvilZoe's still got 4 bases mining. It's reestablishing that 5th base. 2-2 upgrades are on the way. And then we have got Sharpened Edge just trying to hold down the fort, deal with these Ling run-bys. The Hydras, however, for EvilZoe are stepping off a creep. We have got probes now running across the running across, abandoning that third base once more. Adepts are pretty darn good against Hydras, though, so as long as there's nothing to support against the Adepts, they will help SharpenedEdge stand. SharpenedEdge is actually ahead on army supply by a significant margin as EvilZoe invests in a ton of tech. So maybe SharpenedEdge can make something happen. I don't think extra Void Rays are going to be the answer it needs. It's going to try, though. It's going to be on the charge lots and the Adepts to potentially kill the Hydras. There's the tanky Queens in the front, though, to help buffer for this. EvilZoe is backed into a corner. In goes SharpenedEdge, targeting down a lot of these Hydras. Zealots and Adepts closing the distance, and EvilZoe kind of gets broken up with this attack. It's a fine line to walk, but SharpenedEdge did seem to hit a strong timing. This hatchery is going to go down once more. A lot of the anti-air for the Zerg did perish. EvilZoe does have good production behind this, though, making 9 more Hydras. 2-2 is done for the Zerg just about, so that's going to make them deal even more damage. So while that was a good attack for SharpenedEdge, I don't think it's got this game by any means just yet. EvilZoe has a nice counterattack. Looks like an Adept and a Zealot are responding, so really well done on that front by SharpenedEdge to actually hold it together. But once again, we see the Protoss attacking on in, up this ramp, onto creep. Lots of drones are going down on EvilZoe's side of the map. The Hydra Ball is formidable, though. Zealots and Adepts, Void Rays all going down here, and even a Neural Parasite making that Void Ray be a friend, not a foe, for EvilZoe. The third base is being attacked once more, so SharpenedEdge has had these successful attacks. Unfortunately, it did take them too far twice now. I'm not sure that the Protoss is going to get away with that once again. However, it is building more Void Rays, more Adepts are on the way. That Zealot is doing a great job as a doorman. EvilZoe's run-bys really are impressive in this game, though. Just the constant run-bys. SharpenedEdge's responses are really nice, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not taking damage. We do see more Adepts out on the map. However, Hydras are in quite a high number, and they really benefit from those 2-2 attack upgrades. So it's looking a little rough for SharpenedEdge. I think we need to see some transition, like carriers are better against Hydras than Void Rays. I mean, I don't know, Archons or something that could be made by SharpenedEdge. It does need to just keep mining at that third base, potentially get up a fourth base as soon as it can. Supplies are still relatively close. EvilZoe, though, is investing in lots of tech. +3 Carapace, melee on the way, and Adrenal Glands, gonna make those Ling run-bys even more terrifying. SharpenedEdge is planning on building a 4th Nexus, so that is good to see. It's getting a probe, gonna start building that. I would like to see a cannon or 2 at this third base. I'm not sure SharpenedEdge can afford that, though, as it has had its mining disrupted. It doesn't have the best probe count in the world. And let's see, just more Void Rays being produced. Yeah, it really is all on the Void Rays. SharpenedEdge playing like a Gold League player at this point. Lings are hitting that third base once again. The probes, they start to scatter. That's lost mining time, though. And EvilZoe is still just relying on these run-bys. It's not going for a big attack just yet. EvilZoe has now got 3-3 on the way for those Hydras. We're seeing Infestors and Hydras being produced. That is a Void Ray killing squad if I've ever seen it. We really do need to see a transition from SharpenedEdge, really yesterday. I'm really liking what the Protoss bot is doing. It's had a lot of style. I am concerned, though, because 3-3 Hydras are just going to melt these Void Rays. There's no questions about it. So unless SharpenedEdge pulls something really nice out of its hat, it's going to be a little bit concerning. All of a sudden, that supply that was fairly even is definitely not anymore. That Nexus does indeed get canceled for SharpenedEdge. However, there's Neural Parasites catching the Void Rays as they just delete their own friends, but that's half the Void Rays gone. There's no batteries to defend here. Probes are getting pulled into the battle. That's not a good sign for the Protoss. EvilZoe has been able to take it, not without any worry. But yeah, SharpenedEdge just, it wasn't playing the right composition. If it had a transition or something, you can definitely make that Void Ray Charge Lot Adept style work, but you either got to get the win, which it failed to do, or you got to transition into something else, which I would have liked to have seen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this game, go ahead, click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below saying more bots. And if you do want to support the channel, you can become a YouTube member. There's that join button. That goes a long way to supporting these daily casts. And yeah, look at this. Just Hydras, Lings, cleaning everything on up. Well done by EvilZoe, showing us that it really is a top-tier Zerg. It takes a lot to bring down a bot like EvilZoe, and this game was wonderfully scrappy, I'll say. Alright, thanks so much for tuning in.